republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This land of ours is under attack. The time has come, we're gonna take it back. Just wait and see. Don't tread on me. I won't sit back, stand idly by, watch the heart of my nation die. Oh, not me. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on my Bible, don't tread on my guns, don't you tread on my faith in God's only Son. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on me.
Hey everybody, this is Jon Marietta and I am the Hillbilly, and today's show is being brought to you by Monarch Windows and Doors, Miser's Garage and Tire Center, Monk's Auto Body, Patriots.online.com. One more time, Patriots.online.com. Go there. There's a lot of good information about what's going on in our state right now, and I'll tell you what, our state's on fire. Hey, we got the Fayette County Recovery, Storage, and U-Haul. They're the IDF of Fayette County. If you need to find something, call UB at 724-323-3833. We got Country Motor Sales, Gary's Auto Sales, Gunslingers in Connellsville, 724-707-4442. The Ink Spot in Connellsville. If you need ink on paper, please give them a call. They're the best. Tactical Civics, Solid Foundation Ministries, Highline Motorsports. I see Greg got a lot of bikes up there. Everybody needs something for their kids for Christmas. Stop up and see him on Morgantown Road. Gun Owners of America, Hillbilly Jon Radio, which you can catch on YouTube, and Your News. Actually, that's the website. Jon Marietta for We the People. I'll tell you what, we've been busy and we're blessed here in Fayette County. I'll tell you what, the weather couldn't be more perfect. I mean, you almost want to go out and take a swim right now, but I think the water will be a little chilly in the Yawk, but I'll be thinking about it.
It would be warm, but not as cold as the polar dip, right?
Yeah,
we're polar plunge
and
that you took.
And I'm going to do that. I didn't do that last year because I ended up not feeling well at the last minute. But I'll be, if everything works out, I'll be down there this year to do that. I want to start out with this. He's one of my favorite chaplains, and he writes something and posts it on Facebook every day. His name is David Baker, and he says the word to live by, God's word, builds faith that brings life to your dreams. God's word builds faith that gives strength to your body. God's word builds faith that brings peace of mind. God's word gives you faith that allows you to carry when others are quitting. God's word gives you faith that knows that the Lord is sufficient for all your needs and everything will be all right. Psalms 19:05 tells us, your word is a light unto my feet and a light for my path. In whatever way you choose to honor God today, when you receive God's word today, take it with you this week and not only live it, but share it. Enjoy the rest of this week, and God bless each and every one of you. David Baker, he look him up on Facebook. He's a really cool dude. I believe he drives a cattle truck, and he's like a chaplain I like to catch his thing. He sends something to me. Of course, he sends it probably out to thousands of people, but I get something from him almost every day. And we're going to divert to something a little bit different today because we have a special guest, and our special guest is Diane
Kovach Bork.
Speak into the microphone, honey.
Diane Kovach Bork.
Okay, and the reason she's here is they're going to do a turkey trot at Ben Franklin Junior High School? Or is it?
It's the elementary.
It's the elementary.
Yeah, elementary.
Because you're raising money for the Fun Day activities at the end of the year, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So for those of you that don't know, the Uniontown Area School District, each of the elementary schools, they work towards raising money for a big event that they have at the end of the year. It's called Fun Day. And so it's a day that they get to enjoy a bunch of fun activities. And sometimes they bring in treats. I don't know if they're limited anymore. They weren't at the time that I was running the HSC so much. They were a little bit more flexible on those days with the permission of the parents. Diane is here to raise money to help contribute to their fun day. And so what's your goal, Diane? What's your goal to raise?
Maybe like 4,000.
Okay. And
That'd be for the whole school, right?
Yes.
And what's your personal goal?
Maybe like 3,000 is my personal goal.
I think you'll get there.
I think her dad has a pretty far reach as far as people are concerned. So I have confidence in you, Diane. So I think that we're going to get this accomplished. Right, Jon?
I think we're going to work on it as much as we can. And so what day is the turkey trot?
The 26th.
And like you said, you're raising money for so you can have a fun day at school. And I guess they'll have bounce houses. They'll have all kinds of things, I guess, is what they're going to do.
Yes.
For a fun day. And will there be pizza involved?
Probably.
Probably.
I know at Franklin we did. I don't know, like I said, with the food restrictions, are they a little more strict with those rules now, or did they loosen them up a little bit?
I think they loosened them up a little bit.
So, yeah, because fun day is supposed to be fun, right? You're supposed to enjoy the treats and all the activities, and it's just meant to be to celebrate the year end and all of the things that you accomplished during that year, I think, right?
Yes.
So you're gonna walk around the school or in the school or through the school, or I mean back and forth? How's that going to work?
We walk around the school, and inside it does evolve with some things. So yeah.
Okay, so is there how many miles or is there distance involved?
No, there's not really distance involved. It's just laps around.
Now, are we sponsoring you by the laps, or are people going to make general donations? Like, do they just donate? Like, say, do you have specific laps in mind, or is it, I want to donate $20 to your cause, and maybe we can do it that way?
Yes, it's like that.
Okay, so we're going to donate a flat amount, and then whatever it is that you desire to donate. So that's how we're going to collect money, right?
Yep.
And how can people get money to you?
They can get it by my dad. His phone number is 724-970-5439.
So you can contact Ken if you would like to make any donations, and so he's going to collect them, and then you're going to take them into the school for him, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
And Jon's going to bring your turkey, right? You
Yeah,
said you're going to bring a real turkey in.
I was wondering,
special
am
guest.
I allowed to bring one of my turkeys so it can walk around with
Are
you?
we going to part into turkey? The first part of turkey for the Hillbilly Jon show?
We can pardon. Maybe we can pardon it for Thanksgiving so it
I
can
think
walk
Ken
around.
likes that idea.
I don't think they'll allow an actual turkey to run
Well,
around.
let's see if we can get that. Let's see if we can get that changed for you. Let's figure out a way that we can get that accomplished. Right, Jon?
I think so. I think we'll be able to do that. But you couldn't carry it because I'm pretty sure she
Can you
weighs.
put it on a leash?
Yeah, well, I don't know if we'll do that, but I'm sure if we can get you a bucket of worms and you can just walk along and and she'll follow you wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe there's
Well,
an additional fee for the turkey if you
Yeah.
want to donate to the turkey.
I want to tell, maybe we can get donations for the turkey and you.
Pardon the turkey.
Yeah, pardon the turkey. Hey, I want to tell everybody this young lady is, and she is a young lady. She's 11 years old, and I tell you what, it takes a lot to sit
is
here
courageous.
between all of us, and you're very courageous for doing this. But I got to ask you one last thing. Will you please give that phone number one more time, and it will be on my feed, so we can get
I'm
you
gonna
as
put it in
many
the comments
donations
right
as we can.
Okay, so my dad's phone number is 724-970-5439.
And the day of the turkey trot is
The 26th.
okay. And I'm sure we'll get it all out on Facebook as much as we possibly can,
Yeah.
and it'll be a good thing. I'm glad your dad stopped me today, and it'll be good. I'm glad, and you don't know how brave you are because I have people that are much older than you to come on the show, and they're very timid, and you're doing real well.
You did
So,
a really great
we'll
job.
have you back on again, maybe for some other event.
Okay.
Okay, one more time your name
Diane Kovach Bork.
and The turkey trot is November?
The 26th.
Okay.
And she's raising money for the Ben Franklin Fun Day, which is hosted at the end of the year. So if anybody would like to donate, please contact Ken, and his number is in the comments. I just posted it.
Yep.
So.
We'll get it out there, and we'll make sure that if anybody comes to me, we'll get it to your dad or get it to you, and it'll be all good.
So Diane's personal goal is 3,000. So I think we're gonna have to try to.
We're gonna have to work on this.
Towards that goal.
We're gonna have to work on this. We might have to do a remote, like from Ben Franklin School, or maybe we'll have to do a remote from Washington Township or something.
What if we could do a remote on the turkey trot day? Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, maybe
with your turkey.
Yeah, with the turkey.
And then we'll have an additional bucket for turkey pardoning donations.
Okay, hey, we got to go to break, and Nick, take us to break.
Don't tread on me.
A lot of people pretend to misunderstand MAGA, but what's confusing about making America great? It's a fundamental goal that every patriot, regardless of party affiliation, shares. It transcends party labels and gets to the crux of America. The opportunity for our society to strive for right over settling for what's wrong. We, the people, can only make a true, informed, and honest choice if there is integrity in our elections, if the process is transparent, to ensure fairness and honesty in the choices we make. Americans will make them. I have embarked on this crusade for election integrity, not to sway our choices one way or the other, but to ensure the results are legal, authentic, and accurate. This is fundamental for we, the people, to make America great again. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. I am Jon Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly. Paid for by friends of Jon Marietta, the Hillbilly. Okay, and we're back, and I'll tell you what, it's Tuesday, and it seems like it should be Friday as much as we've been through this week already. I guess, Melanie, I'd like to start out with a whole bunch of different things, but we got stuff going on everywhere, and especially in Pennsylvania. They're out in Bucks County. They're just counting ballots, and it just seems like they're not going to stop. I mean, they're going to count the lid on the floor for before it's over with.
Tomorrow? It starts tomorrow. Here's the.
I guess here in Fayette County we're going to start counting tomorrow, or they're going to start the recount tomorrow.
Well, this order of recount for the office of the United States Senator. So based on the unofficial returns for the general election held November 5th that have been submitted to the Department of State for the 67 county boards of elections, pursuant to Section 104, it says here, it appears that a candidate for the office of United States was defeated by 0.5% of less of the votes cast for that office, and the defeated candidate did not request that a recount not be made under the section, the statutes here. So it's happening tomorrow. According to what it says in Fayette County Board of Elections, will conduct the recount on Wednesday, November 20th, 2024 at 10 a.m. in the Fayette County Election Bureau, and will continue at the same time each day thereafter as needed. So
they have 64,000 votes they have to count in Fayette County, or ballots they have to count.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if the provisional is counted, because people are texting me today. They want to know if their provisional ballot was counted. They're checking in on the website, and it's saying it was not counted. Check with me 5 to 7 days after the election. Well, it's been 2 weeks after the election, and these people that voted by provisional ballot don't have an answer.
Well, when you think about this, this is where we're at. Nobody, with all these election things that are going, nobody wants to be a Pontius Pilate. But Act 77 has forced Fayette County judges to wash their hands, and that's what they've done. The judges all over the state, they have washed their hands from this Act 77 that Pat Stefano and Doug Mastriano and Ryan Hyde and Ryan Warner put in place, and there's no way for them to rule on this correctly on the merits. And it's all about election integrity, and there's just no way, because the ballots are not getting counted properly. Now Gina's standing there listening to me, but sitting there listening. But this is where we're at, and I mean, I know people get tired of hearing about this, but we're back at it again in the courts. Well, it looks like not only are we going to be in the U.S. Supreme Court, we're not sure how that decision is going to fall. We'll know about that in a day or so. But we're going to be in the Pennsylvania State Supreme Court and the Superior Court also. The Third Circuit Court, Third District, I think I have that right. Court is supposed to make a ruling, decide whether we're going to get a summary judgment, and then that will affect the Supreme Court case that we have put forward.
Is there a deadline for provisional votes?
Well, from what I understand, and what this commissioner in Bucks County is saying, and it looks like there's going to be some other counties that are also going to join her in this recount. It looks like there's going to be 4 or 5. They're going to keep counting votes no matter when they got there. And the law says specifically that they have to be there by 8 o'clock.
The night of
The election. Actually, they have to be submitted by 8 o'clock, but they have to be at the election bureau in a timely manner. I think that's how it reads. So by 9 or 10 o'clock, the ballots have to be there. Mm-hmm. So, but anything that comes in after 8 o'clock at night. Now listen, this is where it gets real convoluted. Anything that comes in after 8 o'clock at night is not supposed to be counted.
Right.
With the mail-in ballots.
With the
And
mail-in
absentees
ballots,
and mail-ins.
Now the provisionals happen at the
polling day of election.
On the day of the election at the polling place.
In person.
Now I did check. I will tell you, I did check on one gentleman called me. I'm not going to tell you his name, but I did check for him, and they assured me that his vote was going to count. And he called himself, and they said his vote would count. He had to vote provisional. But here's the kicker to that particular situation. I had 4 people that I had to check on. All 4 of them have voted in almost every election since they were able to vote. Mm-hmm. This guy, the one guy, he actually was in Vietnam, so he has to be in his 70s. He said that he thinks he only missed 1 election in his whole life.
Wow.
Except when he was deployed, he had to vote by. But he said he thinks he only missed voting in 1 election, and it was a primary, and he happened to be in a hospital at the last minute and wasn't expecting that.
Okay. So just to clarify for all the listeners out there are how many different ways of voting? So there's mail-in ballots right now, which was created by Act 77, correct? But before mail-in...
No excuse.
No excuse, mail-in ballots. That means...
We've always had absentee.
We've always had absentee.
But yeah, so absentee was different than a mail-in ballot. So you can vote in person, and before the mail-in ballots became a thing, you had to fill out an absentee form in order to vote. And there was a specific date in order for those to be submitted also, right? So my question, I guess, would be... And
we have to answer you. We're shaking our heads, but this is radio, yeah.
So I guess my question is, the mail-in ballots created an issue because there wasn't necessarily a time frame in which they had to be submitted. They were just...
Well, yes, there is a time frame.
Okay.
You have to request them, and I don't have the dates in front of me, but so many days before the election. So I think this is the last election. You had to request it by Friday night before the election. I believe I have that right.
Okay.
So and then they can either mail it out to you, or you can go to the Board of Elections in Fayette County and you can ask by Friday to get that, and then you supposedly can return it by mail. Okay. But here's the problem.
Yes.
Anything that goes inside the Uniontown post office would come directly over to the Board of Elections the next
instead of the respective precincts.
No. If you go to vote and you fill out your ballot and you go into the Uniontown post office and you put it in their mail, it would go directly to the Uniontown. It would go to our Board of Elections in Uniontown. Mm-hmm. But if you put it in the mailbox, even outside, it goes to Pittsburgh.
Oh, geez.
And then comes back. So there's all these ballots, and this is
But they stopped that, though, this year.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do that this year.
Okay, so my question is there a cutoff to the post date marked on those mail-in ballots.
It
to
should
which
be.
they're
It should be the
valid.
day of the election by 8 p.m. It has to be
Postmarked by.
No.
No.
No,
It has to be-
be in the election bureau by that date.
Yeah.
So essentially, then it would have to be postmarked days before in order to reach the election bureau at
Exactly.
that time. But there's no specified date in which that has to occur. Like they don't have to receive it by a certain date because that would probably
yeah,
clear
the
up.
board-
Have to receive it by election day
Election day at 8 o'clock.
at 8 o'clock.
Okay, and so
If it comes in the next day and 2 days, it doesn't count.
it doesn't count, and it shouldn't because it should have to be postmarked a certain date in order to make it to the election bureau at that time. But I guess so. There's the mail-in ballots. There's there's the mail-in ballots. There's in person, and then there was the what was it wasn't the mail-in. What was were
Absentee ballots.
absentee? Okay, and so then the provisionals are something completely different
mail-in
because
ballots,
that's
there's
the provisional ballots are collected the day of the election, correct? So when you go to the election precinct and there's an issue with your vote or your ballot, then you have to fill out a provisional and they have to be filled out that day. So you're not voting
Yes.
through the machine. You have to fill out a form and then
It goes
there has
to
to
the,
be
it
a
go,
process.
and the proper procedure is, Melanie can tell you this, the proper procedure is for provisional ballots, it has to go to the election bureau.
Yes.
Okay? It goes first, it's a precinct, they take it to the election bureau, and it's in a sealed envelope, and then they open it up, but they have to verify the elector, which is the person that voted, before they open
and
it and count it.
the county commissioners do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no reason for a provisional ballot to come in after the day of the election.
No.
And so are we having a problem with provisional ballots coming
No,
in?
it's what it
No.
is
Or-
we're not having a problem with the provisional ballots coming in. What it is we're having a problem with they're just counting all of them and not making sure that these people were actually registered to vote.
Oh, okay, so
Because
they're
you
not
can s-
verifying
you-
the information
Yeah, you could show up at a poll
and get a provisional
and you
ballot.
can get a provisional ballot no matter whether you were registered or not. Now, more than likely, at the local poll, they would say, "You're going to have to give us an ID," but you take like Philadelphia, where you walk, or Allegheny County, some of the biggest precincts there are. If you end up walking into one of them, they could just say, "Okay, well, you're not on the list, but we'll give you a provisional ballot."
Oh, so there could be thousands.
There could be thousands. Oh yeah, there is thousands. There was almost 1,000 in Fayette County, wasn't there, Melanie?
What provisionals?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it was 900. It was over 900. I think, or no, 700. It was over 700. They had to, and they have to verify each one of them. They
Every
have to,
single one of them.
Every
so
one
that's
of them
a
has to be.
time-consuming process.
Oh yeah.
Well, it takes a couple of days, which starts the Friday after the elections and then goes until, which was the 15th, which was when the board was supposed to have their meeting and approve them. Now, Westmoreland and Washington counties have their provisional ballots online, a list of all the names of provisional ballots. Now, I'm not sure if they were accepted or denied, whether they get that specific on their list, but they've been posted for a couple of days. We don't have that information for Fayette County.
And it should be.
But I saw on the state website yesterday, I think I sent it to you, how many votes are left to count. They're still counting ballots in this state.
And how many days? out
Philadelphia
are we
had
on?
48,000 expected votes left to count as of last night. Fayette County said on here 2,000.
2,000.
2,000 expected votes left to count. Now, is that military ballots, overseas ballots? Is this what they're referring to?
I'm
It
not-
doesn't
Those
say
would
it.
be absentee, which
I
would
guess
have
I'm
to
going to
be-
have to stop down and ask them that question to find out.
Yeah, we have Erie County, as of last night on the state website. You can go in and see different. These are little pockets here that have votes that need to be counted. Erie County has 2,193 votes that need
But
to be
it doesn't
counted.
specify
Expected left to
what
count.
votes they are,
2,000
whether they're
expected votes
absentee
to
or
count.
provisional.
Westmoreland has 10,000 expected votes left to count as of last night. So it's Allegheny has 9,000 expected votes. This was just amazing to me. Chester County, Philadelphia has 48,000 expected, to count as of last night on the state website.
That's
Yay.
a lot of votes to be still
to be
counting
counted.
this far out of
It's
the
so
election.
confusing. It is just makes
And
no sense at all.
And it's Act 77 that's caused all this. Act 77 caused January 6th, no matter how you look at it. That's what caused January 6th. I mean, there was other laws in other states, but that's what happened. Our state legislators really fumbled this one up. It caused the inflation, the runaway inflation for the last 4 years, because you had somebody that was in the White House that shouldn't even have been there. First off, it made it so Donald Trump had to win the presidency 3 times. I mean, he's the only man that I know of that, other than Franklin Roosevelt, that's had to win the presidency 3 times. This is where we're at with all this, and it's not hateful. It's not. I don't have no hate for anybody, but the problem is we need to get this fixed. It needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
It needs to be taken down. It needs to be replaced. And people will say, well, it needs to be legislated. Well, it can't be legislated because when you give up, when you give an inch up, it's in a battle, it's hard to get that inch back. I mean, you have to fight for that inch, and it just seems like the state GOP doesn't want to fight for it. The uniparty. It's the uniparty that's caused all of this. So now we went through an election where the mega party came out in a force that nobody can ever deny.
Too big to rig.
Well, I don't know. We're finding out it might not be.
Yeah.
Because in
Well,
Pennsylvania,
when you have like all these loose votes out there weeks after the election, I mean, how could it not change the trajectory of what just happened?
well,
I mean, we need explanations about what these votes are and whose votes these are that are still being counted. There's deadlines for these things.
They're doing a count, right? They're statewide recount. And really, a recount isn't going to show anything any different.
no, because what they're going to do is from what I
Not if you're
understand,
adding votes.
they're going to set up a machine. They're going to set up a machine or 2 machines in Fayette County because, obviously we had 64,000. They got 48,000 that haven't been counted yet in Philadelphia. So they're going to be, this is where we're going to be, but they're going to set up 1 or 2 machines. They had to wait to get them certified. The machines to be recertified so they could use them, and then they're going to run the ballots they already have. But we still don't have no idea if the ballots they have are legitimate.
Qualified,
Right.
yeah.
So if they do, so it looks to me like we're going to be in the middle of December or a little bit further before we find out actually who won the Senate race
In Pennsylvania?
In Pennsylvania, I mean, it might even be later than that.
Well,
I mean,
they're
that's
still
ridiculous.
counting in other states too. They're still counting all across.
Yeah,
There's 6 or 7
Arizona's the
states
other
still
place.
counting,
So
which is affecting judgeships and everything. It's just the more you count, the more cheating I believe is going on.
right. The
And
more
unless
you
we
can
do an
add.
election audit, which is what we want to do, but then they do that. They're saying there's a 2%.
That's what they have to do.
That's what they have to do, and
So
that's good enough, is what the Secretary of State is saying. Oh, that's been fine, proven, tried and true. But
Yeah.
Not if it's more
Not
than
really.
2% off on their accounts to begin
Well,
with.
we know that the election director has admitted right here in Fayette County that our elections are only 89.1% accurate.
11% will swing
Almost 11%.
an election one way or the other.
No, 2% will sway an election.
11% will definitely then,
Yeah,
right?
2% will sway an election. But she admitted to that.
11%.
Yep.
Jeez, oh man. I just think that people need to start paying attention and be aware. There's no reason that.
Well, if they push this back far enough, everybody's going to be more worried about watching Frosty the Snowman and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer instead of doing what needs to be done.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
because full
and that's
swing Christmas, yeah.
that's their goal. I mean, that's their goal. I mean, people need to give up and just say, okay, whatever it is, it is. But it looks to me like you're probably going to end up with 2 recounts because you're going to end up with a recount for the ballot on the Senate race, and the rest of the ballot's probably going to get recounted at the same time because they're going to put it through the machine. The other thing is I think they'll challenge the recount no matter what happens.
Who will challenge it? Republicans or Democrats?
I think McCormick will challenge if he loses, and if he loses, and I feel that Casey doesn't get the right count, he's going to challenge on another front. In the meantime,
Well, the ruling just came about the signatures and the dates.
yeah,
Judge just, firmly said to these counties, Montgomery, Bucks County, that we're going to count mail-in ballots without dates, and that has just been squashed. They can't do that now.
What are they going to do about the ones that they've already counted? There's no way to know which ballot. Once that envelope's opened and gone, it's all about the envelopes. It's always been about the envelopes, and
Yeah, that's true.
and
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't verify.
Even when I challenged it in Fayette County, there was too many envelopes in some precincts and not enough in others. And I said, how could this possibly be? They should, if you have 10 ballots, you should have 10 envelopes. And I said, how could this possibly be? When I ran for recorder the first time, we're still missing over 600 votes in that race. And I questioned that, and everybody said, no, just let it go. Well, I was right. We're missing 600 votes in that race. Where'd they go to?
I don't know. Somebody's Houdini.
They say recounts only address counting errors. That's what a recount would only do, which is a human error.
Yep.
They don't address the commingled illegal ballots. Illegal ballots can be from dirty voter rolls, signatures that don't match, updated or past due submissions. Once they're separated from their envelopes, ballots look all the same.
Right.
Exactly.
Because
You can't tell if it's
right.
from a non-citizen, from a dog.
Right. But if it's an in-person vote, you can verify the number of people that signed, the voter registration, the voter log with the number of ballots that were cast, right?
Well,
so that would be a way to verify that.
But you don't have. You can get the number verified, but they still have a problem doing that. I mean, it's a problem. I mean, they can't verify that they can't say that there's X amount of mail-in envelopes, and that they have the same number of mail-in ballots, but it never works out. You can look at the Shore system from years past. It never works out.
Yeah. And then nobody's verifying the signatures on the mail-in ballots, so that
not one signature.
100 ballots could be signed by the same person, and they wouldn't know. They're just separating the ballots out.
One person with a Sharpie and a stack of fake ballots could do more damage than any other country could do to us shooting at us with ammunition. I mean, let's just think about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
they shouldn't be separated. The ballots shouldn't be separated from the envelopes. Then they should always be kept together.
Yeah.
They're not.
It's almost like the hand grenade effect. I mean, it just everything's blowed up. I mean, we can't figure out where we're at and what we need to do.
We say, fake ballots, unqualified electors. There's just no way of knowing when you scan that if that person is a voter. It's like taking a fake $10 bill into Giant Eagle and putting a counterfeit $10 bill in there and expecting to pay for, Pepsi's, potato chips, or whatever. That machine won't accept the counterfeit dollar bill. So the same should be for, with the technology today, and the barcode should be the same thing with a ballot. If you scan it and they're not a qualified, if they're mail-in ballot, scan it.
Yeah. Oh, they should. They all have barcodes.
And the mail-in ballots do. They do.
Yeah, the envelope does.
Oh, the envelope
and so
has
does the
a
ballot.
barcode.
So does the ballot. Yeah.
So the barcode should match.
Well, it would match. It'd be just like the barcode it'd be on your ballot when you vote at the precinct.
Or you could put a watermark on. That's kind of what I'm saying about the counterfeit. We have no watermarks on those ballots, so you can print 10,000 of them with a Sharpie and put 10,000 votes on it.
You could just copy them
and so our ballots don't have any watermarks on them.
Well, I mean, in the last election in 2020, we were pretty definitely sure that happened here in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
No,
so if they would have a watermark, that would be kind of.
They stopped two truckloads. There was from what I've gathered now. I haven't been able to confirm this, but they did stop 2 truckloads coming into Pennsylvania last week,
Before the election?
No.
On the day of the election?
No, it was a couple days after the election.
Oh.
They stopped 2 truckloads of mail-in ballots, and that was in Delaware County. That was in Delaware County.
Get
Now, I don't know
out.
how big the trucks were. I don't know if they were. I assume they were like mail trucks, is what I'm assuming.
I mean, a mail truck could probably hold how many ballots?
Well, what it was they went
Like
they
1,000?
went to a processing center, just like from Fayette County goes to Pittsburgh, and then it took them a day or so to get rerouted back to the election board in
Yeah.
Delco County. I think they call it it's at the wharf, but that's what they stopped these 2 truckloads. So,
Yeah.
but how do you know where they came from? And
You don't.
Bucks County is the same thing.
Are they investigating that? Someone
Yeah,
looking into that?
There's been an investigation into it, but I'm assuming that's what it was. They went to a processing center, and it took them a day or so to get back. So your mail-in ballot deal is not what I mean. We need to vote in person. Election
Yeah.
day needs to be a holiday. We need to
Yeah.
make it a holiday. We need to do
1,000%.
We need to count. We need to definitely
And do-
count the ballots all
Hand
at
count.
the precinct.
Hand count right there.
All at the precinct. No
Yeah.
matter the mail-in ballots should be at the precinct already.
Yeah.
And the only ones that shouldn't be at the precinct would be the ones that people turn in
Yeah.
into election bureau that day.
Absolutely, because the people at the precincts, for the most part, they know the people that come in to vote, and they know the people in their community, so they would be better equipped to understand whether or not those ballots would be valid or not, because they would know, like, Jon Marietta, it shouldn't be voting in Franklin Township because you're not a resident there.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing that a lot of people believe. Now, I don't know how you would do this in the big cities, but a lot of people believe that the precinct should be no bigger than 1,000 people.
Right.
I don't know how
Right.
you would do that in a big city. Even in different places.
You
They
could
do
very
it around
easily do
Uniontown.
that. You could very easily do that. And then if you give them the day off, then you wouldn't have to worry about poll workers because people would have the day off. They couldn't say, I'd like to be a poll worker, but I have to work. So if you
Right.
would give it a day off, that would give you, there's a real easy solution to this. It's the way they did it 100 years ago.
Right.
Hand count them. It's precise. It saves on
Right.
money. It's
Yeah.
accurate. We need to go back to that and kick out Act 77
Oh yeah,
sure do.
it has to go away. We have to
Yeah.
make sure that it
and get
goes
rid of the
away.
Dominion machines.
Yeah.
No machines.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we personally, when we went through, we weren't able to find anything that was different at the precincts. And I do want to reiterate, these people that are working at precincts, it's like a patriotic thing that they do.
Yeah.
It's a really good thing that they do, and I'm sure
They
that,
take pride in what they do.
yeah, and most of them, and I would say that it's 99% of them do. I
Right.
mean,
They're honest
it's
people.
a whole day long affair where
They want it to be fair.
they show up very early in the morning and they're there till late at night. And you hate to add any more work, but if we can figure out how to count things at the precincts, that would alleviate a lot of the problems.
Well,
Which,
there
by
is
the way, the
there is
local
systems
PTAs
there.
need to be more vigilant about feeding those people. Since they're there all day, right?
I know. Patty did
Come big.
it. Patty did it for several years. My wife
Yeah.
did it for several years, and but now there's at one time there was very few Republicans in Redstone Township, but that's changing. I mean,
I heard there's a big red wave going across the country at this point.
I mean, I look for a lot of people to change, and the deal with the change is what a lot of people don't understand. I did a commercial about it, and it's going to be played several different places. But anyways, the people don't understand MAGA. They just don't understand. It's just real simple. It's make America great again, and that's
Yeah.
what it's about.
It's putting the power back to the people.
And
That's what the
Donald
real
Trump,
movement is.
Donald Trump is the leader of that group,
I think that
and he's taken all the power away from the Republican Party,
Yeah.
and that's what's making him
And
so
they're
upset.
kicking and screaming. My son filmed a movie on Saturday, and he used to work at Highway Appliance back in the Mon Valley, and one of his friends was working there and said the day after the election in the Mon Valley that the Highway Appliance phone was ringing off the hook with people wanting to buy refrigerators, dishwashers,
Yeah.
couches. They felt confident with the new leadership that was elected that they'll have money in their pockets again. And
Well,
that
believe that.
Melanie,
kitchen remodel that they were putting on hold until they saw who won the election, that's going to happen. And that's stirring the economy.
Yep.
Yep.
And he's not even in an
and I'll
office
tell you
yet.
what else is going on too? That there's a lot of people. Joe and I put out 150 Trump signs the night of the election. Okay, so we went around and we got most
Wow,
of.
that's a lot.
We went around and got most
were
of.
busy.
We were busy. Well, we went around and got most of them picked up. But I probably only have 30 left now because I got people calling me. They want Trump signs. They want to put them in their yard. They want to put them in their yard.
I really do believe that the movement is more about decentralizing government and giving the power back to the people.
Yep.
And I think that people outside of the party lines, they really want that. I mean, if you look at his proposal for the educational system alone, like getting rid of the Department of Education and allowing the states to have those rights to make those decisions and have the power, the state at the state level, they're more accessible than they are at the federal level, and so I think that you can get more accomplished in that way, and growing your education and evolving what that looks like to best suit the kids in the areas that you're local to.
I think
For sure.
so. I think
Lots of ideas, John.
It has to be about the local area, and I will tell you the one thing that I've been really watching. Gas dropped again.
Yeah.
The Sheets announced that. I think Nick even put it. Nick's going to report on that on the news here coming up. But gas prices dropped again here at the local gas stations. I'm looking for eggs and butter, and you know what? That's why people got upset, and I really believe that's what drove the vote out because they go buy groceries. You buy groceries every week, and the $200 or $300 you spend on your family just doesn't go far enough.
And I think there's tons of waitresses out there that don't want their tips to be taxed, and I think there's tons of people that work overtime that want to see the money from their hard-earned cash that they worked above what they're required to do by their job. And I think that more people are looking forward to the opportunities that they'll have for themselves. We have been taxed sublimely for the past how many years now, and how much money has been slowly eroded from our paychecks and given to the federal government to control, to give to who they think is worthy of it. We should be able to decide that. If there's somebody who is suffering in my neighborhood, I should be able to take the money instead of the government taking the money and help that person out.
Well, anytime we can do anything privately, it works out way better than the government.
For sure.
It gets. I mean, the money gets dumbed down. I mean, it's like $100 turns into 40. I mean, but by the time all the bureaucrats get done with it.
And I think that people don't realize either that if he does raise taxes on things that we purchase, you can choose to purchase something new or choose to purchase something used, and whether or not you want to pay that high end of a price on the taxes. Like, for instance, a new car. A lot of people refer to the new car. You get taxed on the new car, and then you turn around and get taxed if you buy a used car. It's the same car. It's already been taxed.
There needs to be
again.
more incentive for people to save money.
Right.
I mean, really, there has to be. And instead of, there's you get taxed on the money you made that you're going to save, then you get taxed on the interest that you make on the money that you save.
Right.
So, there needs to be more, and I think that would help out investments a lot.
And I think it will help out the economy tremendously.
The biggest thing I can see is, and you talk about taxes, which guess what? In Fayette County, our taxes are going to go up. School taxes are going to go up, and
For sure.
And the property taxes are going to go up. There's no choice to this.
Right.
I mean, because they've spent money without no question.
But you know what? It's to the fault of the taxpayers not attending these meetings and holding them accountable. I say that all the time about the school board. There was a $21 million renovation plan that was floating around, and nobody was paying attention. So hopefully people will start paying attention and stop the unnecessary spending, because it stops at the meetings. Go to the meetings.
Yep. Hey, we're already done, and that went pretty quickly.
Always does.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. And like I close all my shows, while on this road called life, you have to take the good with the bad. Smile when you're sad, love what you got, and remember what you had. Always forgive, but never forget. Learn from your mistakes, but never regret. People change. Things go wrong. Just remember the ride goes on. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. This is Jon Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly.